guys, welcome to Acrylic Painting Monday, and today I'm excited to bring you a abstract kind of stylized hibiscus, because we're going to talk about the difference between stylized and abstract and figurative abstract, and you know what kind of colors you need to make a painting pop. And this will be fun, and it will allow a lot of freedom of expression on your part, because when you paint this, you'll be able to just sort of take what I'm sharing you, and then maybe you'll make it a little different, and that's fine. That's the fun thing about a painting like this. We had another video recently that we did that was very popular because it allowed so much creativity as far as our viewers came and how they wanted to express themselves painting flowers. And sometimes you just want to be loose, right? And we're going to get loose tonight.
A little more freedom.
A little more freedom, and then we're going to show you how to tighten it up. It'll be fun. So follow along. Here's come on down here. And this was the video we did back in April, and just very, very abstract flowers. And so we'll put a link in the somewhere. You'll get a link to this if you want to, And some of the 9x12s are doing the same thing. One of the things John does for me, which is we love, is that he'll put extra paint. He'll just do different backgrounds. Like I have yellow, and I have this peach. And anyone would do, but if you had an extra kind of a light, pretty pastel background, that'd be good. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a minute and draw on draw it on. Let's see. Let's see. I think I had a white pencil here somewhere.
You had one earlier.
Yeah, I had one earlier.
During our.
There we go. So, my hibiscus is let's see, let me just turn it this way so I've got a little tiny reference. My hibiscus is going to come about like this, and like this, and like this. Do you see what I'm doing here? Like this, okay? So you're going, well, I don't understand what you just did, Ginger. Well, I'm going to say this is the back end of it. That's going to curve around here like this. Then I'm going to curve this down kind of like a heart shape here, and come out this way and suggest that there might be something out here. And then here's the back end of my flower. Maybe I'll bring this back a little more. So there's the back end, and here's going to be the center of it, like that. And then at some point I'm going to have the stamen just come down like that. All right? So that's basically all I'm doing. Okay?
Well, that looks easy peasy.
So that looks pretty easy. If you want a traceable for this, of course, we'll have it in our acrylic painting with Ginger Cook for our orange members and above, and our website, Art Academy. We're going to take a little paint here. I've got some different colors, but basically we've got I want a light yellow for my, it's a Salvador paint, light yellow. Now look, yellow really only paints well over white, so we'll have to put some titanium white with that. Is this titanium? I think so.
It might be zinc over there.
That might be zinc. Maybe this is titanium. Well, I know this is titanium, isn't it? Right here. All right. So let me just get a larger brush. I think.
You need to cover it first.
Yeah, kind of. I think we're just probably going to have to take a little white and cover it. I think probably over this. We'll just do some quick white. Yeah. There we go. We'll just do this and dry it. Probably it's just as simple as any, but that's all right. Just kind of wiggle the brush around and get some lines in the record. Does that make sense? Kind of grooves in our record.
Grooves.
Little grooves in our record. Okay, like that. And we're going to say there's our white, and we'll dry this and it'll be fine. So here's our flower shape. It's just a little bit more random than you think about. Kind of across the back here, and let's come on up here like that and say here's our flower. Okay, yes and yes. Well, that was pretty easy. Yeah, very loose. This is a little angle brush, 5/8 inch. There we go. So don't get too crazy, but just there we go.
Basically just blocking in it.
We're just blocking it in. Yeah.
You got to have some white down to get that yellow to pop.
Yeah, so now I've got, well, that's, we can dry that. But
What else can we do first?
Yeah, so we're going to do that. And in the meantime, just let you know that normally we've been doing live shows on Mondays, and this is what we call a premiere. So if you read along, if you want to hear some of my comments and opinions on things, in addition, be sure to read the chat. If you're part of our premiere, I'll be typing my answers in capital letters so you can see
And she's
it's
not
me.
shouting.
And I'm not shouting, and I don't type well, so I paint well, but typing is not my skill. I'm very dyslexic, and my spelling is terrible. So we know.
And we won't even talk about
We're
numbers.
not even going to talk about that, right? So that's just how it is, dear friends. Okay, so I want to say I want to break this up with a little bit of something. So I want a little bit of kind of white here because I'm doing an abstract, and maybe something white here like that. Maybe along here like that. Sounds good, right? Just gonna do this for my background. And then I think I want some light blue. So this is a pretty blue. Let's do that. It's kind of a light, kind of phthalo blue. And I'm gonna come along here like this and just kind of paint over some of this peach here like that. That's pretty. And I'm gonna take some of this blue and I'm gonna paint this over here. Oh, that's even darker. That's pretty. I'm going to come over here and paint some of this. And do I have any ultramarine blue? Yeah, let's put some of that in here too. That's
a little
pretty.
darker.
Something a little darker. And what about in here? Let's do something like this. Maybe leave a little of this background showing. Like that. Ooh, I like that dark color. Let's see. We have something we could do darker. Maybe purple. That's pretty. Let's do a little purple. Purple and yellow are complements. So let's just see if we could do something like, I'm going to break this up. Ooh, that's nice. Let's do that color. A little bit of purple. Diazonine purple is a good color. Some of you may have used diazonine. The thing about diazonine, if you mix it purple, like say magenta and ultramarine blue, it doesn't have that glare. Diazonine purple is a really gorgeous purple, but it has a glare. It dries glary. I always have to put a matte thing over it. Go in a little dark purple right here. Okay. And then maybe up in this area too. I'll take some of that dark purple color. This is just the purple that's in the Salvador paint kit. Okay. And maybe I want something right in here that's a little bit darker. Okay. So this is kind of, we want to have this, again, we're trying to get loose, but we want to play with shapes a little bit. This is a little bit different style of abstract. And it's what we call stylized in the sense that you know it's a flower. Yeah, you absolutely know it's a flower. But after that, we have this sort of very loose picture. So when you're going to be doing something like this, and you're painting along, what you want to keep in mind is that dry and occasionally dry. In other words, you don't always want it to look like a patchwork quilt. You may want to blend some colors into another to just, there's a little white here. I'm going to just tap that in here like that. And let's see, do I have a little white phthalo green? So I don't want just one color, but I may have to dry in between to get just the right kind of layered mix. So that you see me doing this very gently, floating my brush on stuff, kind of holding it flat. And this is where your expression comes in, you know? This is where you really feel that already this is kind of pretty. We haven't done anything, right? We really haven't done a thing, and yet it's kind of pretty. So here's a little bit of some greens and maybe a little yellow. Sometimes if you have several colors on your brush at the same time, you can paint something in that will be kind of a surprise. I'm just going to, I want a little bit of whiter. Some green here. Suggest that might be a leaf. Remember, it's an abstract, so I don't have to be too exact with it. Maybe I want to come out here and say there's some sort of leaf coming out this way. But you have to be careful. If you haven't dried it, you may have a tendency to get a little muddy. So you don't want that. So let's take a little phthalo green and white. Let's see what we get. There we go. There you go. That's it. I think I'm going to just cover that white up and just say this is all my leaf here. Okay, because I don't have a lot of green in this area. All right. Works for me. Yeah? So let's just dry that. And that's a lot of drawing, by the way. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to go into the yellows. And I'm going to put this kind of Salvador. This is the Salvador light. Their light is yellow. And let me just find a little more of that. Called yellow green. And I just didn't want any extra green in it. But it's kind of a yellow-green color.
It's an interesting color.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost has an iridescent quality to it. And when you're painting flowers and stuff like that, follow the don't go back and forth. Follow the way the petal might be coming, you know, like it's all coming this way, you know, or that way. So pay attention to your brush directions. If you didn't have this color, I guess you could use yellow and a little white, maybe. Just whatever yellow you had in white, like a cadmium yellow and white. That's pretty big. And then I've got some cad yellow here. I want you to see the difference in it. This is cadmium yellow right here.
That's a really brighter yellow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the green undertone of it.
Mm-mm.
But it's a different yellow. You can use it a different way. Now, does Salvador have a more yellow?
No, they have one that's not as bright as cad yellow. Like, for instance, here's a little cad yellow in a couple places. Right, like here, if I wanted to come out from the center like this of the flower and just lift up and say I want this to be a bit lighter. Okay, and I could take a little bit of their orange too and do the same thing. A kind of light orange. Not too much with it, but let's say I want this a little paler. Just pull this and lift it up. And this is because this is all wet. Put even a little water on the brush with that. Bring this out. And just sort of tint this right side. And this or the bottom and the side here. Okay, and I want to come this way too. A little bit of yellow, or rather orange. A little bit of this orange color. Out from the center. Okay? Out from the center. And again, this is all very soft. It's just soft. It's just so soft. Okay, here's a little bit of yellow. Again, everything's soft. Now here's a little bit of white. Let me show you what happens when you do that. Just a little more white right here, maybe on the edge. Okay. Kind of like that. And I don't want to do anything else till that's dry. I could put a little bit of deeper orange in here. This is the cad red light. And I could say that there's a little bit deeper orange here in my center. Of my flower. You could just soften the edges if you wanted. When to have some blurred and sometimes it's like you have this is like a hard line right here, and then this is like a blurred line. You have a combination of both. It can be very effective. And let's take a little bit more magenta and put it right in the middle here. Just a tiny bit of magenta right here in the middle. And I'll give it even more depth right there. There you go. So it's subtle, but there it is. So if I take a little white now and some of that orange, I could take it and put it a little bit more over my kind of that coral color. A little bit here, a little bit of white and cad red light. And gonna just make a few little patterns in here like this. Kind of break this up a bit. And let's do that over here too. Let's break this up. Because it's dry now, we can break this up a little bit. And how about over here?
Just be free with it.
And make sure things are dry when you do it. You see, I like that little bit of deeper red down here in the corner. And why is that? Because red and green are complements. And don't like that. That's better. So, okay, so I've got that going, and I've got this going. Let's take a little bite out of it right here. The flower right there. Let's take a little bite out of it like something ate it. Okay? Now, let's try it. Again. Woohoo! We're going to try it again.
Looking good, Queen.
Thank you. So, there you go. It's just now I want to take some of this white color and a little of this phthalo blue color. Maybe it's a little phthalo green. And a little bit of white. And I want to come along this edge here. And let's do a little bit more phthalo green, which is sort of a turquoisey color. And now I need it bluer. A little bit of white here. Let's see. Or maybe this color. This light blue. Here we go. Now, I want to put some white with that. And I want a little bit on the back edge of this leaf. It was part of the leaf petal. Okay, and then as long as I'm playing with that, let's do a little bit of this blue and white on this green leaf here. Okay, so kind of colors need to layer a little bit sometimes to really get the feel of it. People always just again want to do a coloring book. They just want to do a color and see what happens, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to layer these colors.
That's the real secret, is layering.
It is, John, and people don't want to do it. They just, I don't know why.
Well, you sit here logically, you look at it, okay, I'm going to put down this lovely color, then I'm going to paint over it. Well, why'd you do that? But see, you don't understand the tones that are still coming through because this next layer doesn't fully cover it. and the layer after that doesn't cover that layer. So that's how you get the depth.
Exactly so.
And, you know, unless you really sit there and study it, you're just going to come up with an illustration instead of a painting.
Yeah.
It's a different style. There's nothing wrong with illustrations. It's just a different style of painting.
Exactly so. So you can see we've got something kind of nice going on there, yes? And
It's kind of like a shadowing effect.
yeah, it's kind of pretty, yes. And then I think I want to put just something kind of glazed over this little bit of yellow right here. Just I want it, but just here, but just there we go. Just there. Just a little bit to stain that back a little bit so it's not taking our eye away. Okay? Maybe I'll put a little bit of orange and yellow right here. Some light orange. That's pretty. All right, so let's try that. Okay, it's another drawing thing. It's a drawing moment. Now, listen, I'm going to put the stamen in, and I want it to be sort of an orange color. So, I want it to show up. It's going to be an interesting challenge. So let's see if we can't. It's got to come from here and go down like that. So in order for that to show up, what we're going to have to do is paint it white. Make sure I have some titanium. That's zinc. Let's make sure I have titanium white out somewhere. I thought I did.
Always losing that titanium.
I lose that titanium all the time, John.
Should put a string on it.
All right, I'm going to put it right over here somewhere. Right up there. I'm going to put it right up there. Okay, so here's my titanium. I want to come out of the center of this flower, come down this way, and then I've got a little ball on the end of it. Okay. And then I've got these little funny little guys that are sticking off of it. And they have little balls on the end too. All right, now for that to, and then it's kind of wider as it gets back into here. Okay, so far so good. Everybody's with me? Now I want that to show up. So what has to happen is that the white, first we got to make sure we have enough white paint on there, which we had a nice big blob, but that's all right. We're going to make sure we have enough white paint for the contrast. And now we're going to dry that. Okay? All right, so now I want to make a purple. So I've got some white and phthalo ultramarine blue and magenta. And I'm going to make kind of a purple color here. And I'm going to go next to my flower stem here, stamen guy. And we're just going to put these colors in.
That's a little modeling
The
brush,
little
isn't it?
modeling paste brush, right?
Really, just a little detail is pretty good. It's got a good stiff to it.
And you'll notice that I'm breaking up this big shape here with some smaller shapes. Do you see that? So it's the white, the magenta color. We can even have a little bit more of that in there. Maybe some of this would be more magenta than white and not just purple. Because you want to vary stuff a little bit. Not just have it be one thing. Maybe you've got something coming off of here like that. It's breaking up this big piece of the orange. All right. The same thing back in here. We want to vary some colors. And why do we pick certain colors? Well, for instance, orange and blue are complements of each other. So like a turquoisey blue color can be a very nice complement to the orange. If you've got a little orange somewhere, if you've got a little bit of turquoise blue color somewhere, you can just a little tiny what we call color surprise. Not everywhere, but just a little bit of color surprise. You know, just where is this going? You know, where could we put a little blue here? Maybe right in here, like that. Okay. So again, this is kind of subtle, and it can be very, very effective. Take a little magenta all by itself. Just do a little, maybe some magenta next to some of this. Not a lot, but just some. Kind of break this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we got to dry that. Okay, so we have done that. We've dried that. Now what we need to do is
It's a bright and cheery little flower, little
it's very
pea.
Hawaii, isn't it? Doesn't this feel Hawaii?
Yeah.
I want some of this orange and this light yellow, that light yellow color on here like this. Because it's going over the white. You see how it shows up. And again, I might kind of darken this center a bit around it. Reds are the kind of colors that if you, it's never wrong to put in a couple coats of them, right? And I think I want a shadow side to this. We're just going to do this as our shadow side here. With this statement here like that. Just okay. So there's our let's see, something a little brighter yellow here. Because it's still wet, I'm just dropping the yellow on it. Okay, there's our I think these are kind of fun actually. Don't you think that these are fun, John? These little thingies sticking out.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Got our fun little stuff now. I want a little bit more red next to here. There we go. All right. And I might darken the red just a little bit in a couple places. Okay. Give it a little more depth. And again, like I say, red's one of those colors where You don't have to do the whole thing, just do maybe some part of it. Darken it up or brighten it up. There you go. I feel like we need some back here too, just even if we just add a dash of that right there. I think I would like that. Maybe even here. So, yeah, that works. Let's see, let's got a little bit of white and yellow. I'm pretty happy with all of this in here too, with the flower. Yeah, I'm going to do a few little bits of color. Let's see, we'll do a few little bits of white. Let's see, where did we say the white was? What did we say? Oh, I put it over here. Okay. There's a method to my madness here. So a few little, just kind of break up some shapes here. But we started off with this beautiful light yellow, so that when we add colors, we can add them. And now we're going to take a few little of these light blue colors and white, something very light. Then I might take a larger brush, because I've dried everything now, and just soften this. Something barely want to see this in here like that. Just a hint of this color here coming around. Not to get it too complicated, but there we go. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So, I almost feel like I need a little bit here too. Just on this side. And just bring it down. You barely see it. See, this is kind of staining this a little bit. It's there, but it isn't really there. Okay, so then for our final thing, what we're doing, besides the final little yellow, okay, from a little stamen standpoint, is, let's see, I'm going to lighten this up here. Is we're going to take a little Posca pen and we're going to do a little bit of outlining and make it even more abstract, okay? But we're just about done, but this is what my next thought is on it, but I have to dry it really well first.
Hey,
Okay,
looks
so
good.
this is where we are if we were to frame it now, but let me show you what happens if we do a little outlining on it. This is one of those things where you get a little free with your Posca pens. We're just going to do a little bit more to it. I'm going to come around here like this.
This is one of those times that we encourage you to outline.
Yeah. You don't have to outline everything. This is what's so interesting. You can stop and do some and then not do others. Like for instance, you can come in here and do this, but maybe would you do this side or not? You can see. And then here's our fun stamen. This is the fine point Posca. If you want to know where these can be found, if you go to our link on our Amazon store, they sell them on Amazon. We always encourage you to check prices. Sometimes things are cheaper on Amazon and sometimes they're not. So, you can go there if you want. But all right, now you see it just has the and I'm not necessarily following in the lines either, see?
It's another opportunity to express yourself. Be bold. Draw outside the lines. Oh my. I'll have nightmares.
What, drawing outside the lines?
Drawing outside the line.
I know, it's so hard for John. Remember, they're not all the same length. Now I have a brown Posca pen.
Ooh,
And some of the lines, maybe I don't want that dark. You see what I'm saying? So here's a brown one. And I might say I want some that are coming this way that are not going to be as dark as the black ones. Yes and yes. And maybe I want something a little darker right there, a little darker shadow right in there on this inside edge. Okay. And this is where you can kind of pull out the stops as far as your Posca pens are concerned. Say, what other colors do I have? Like, here's a cool purple one. You have to shake them up really well because you've got, just imagine that there's not a lot in there. I don't think I've never even opened this one. There's not a lot of call for me to use colored ones that often. Now this is where you take a...
That's a brand new one?
Brand new one.
It's going to take a while to load that puppy up.
Well, let's see. Let's just take a... what you do is you pump it very gently, like that. It's important to show you how to do this. You pump it. So don't push it too hard, you ruin the tip. This is not a fine tip one, but this is... Remember, these are just acrylic paint in a pen.
Oh, the little nib.
There, look at that. See, it's going. All right, so I have to see if I like that. But I think on that one I want to smudge it a little bit, but maybe over here I'd want it. I'll just smudge it a little bit like that. I don't know if I want this one or not. I'll just see. I think it's all right for these. Okay, so you don't want to get it too busy, but like maybe right in here. That'd be nice. Just have a little purple right there. Just where that shows up, and maybe I want a little bit deeper purple in here. Just bring that down here like that. Huh? And maybe I want something a little, I think I want something a little lighter right here. It's fun. Because really, I don't know that this purple one is the best one, but it's one I had, so I thought we'd try it. Here's a lighter one. I'll shake that up, just play with this for a little bit. Yeah, here we go. Here's a little lighter one. What could you do with one like this? Could you have a little lighter color in here like that? Would it be easier to use a brush? Ask yourself that. I don't know. Would it be? There you go. Kind of like that purple there, and I wouldn't mind a little purple next to here. There you go. Just sometimes a little bit of something, but honestly, you can overdo. So you want to be careful you're not doing that. You don't want to overdo. The main one is the black one, and that was the one we wanted to make sure that we had. And I would tell you, thick and thin lines are one of the secrets of outlining anything. Is thick and thin lines. If you have a thin line on one place, maybe you want a thicker line on another. That's kind of a rule in drawing. And you don't want everything outlined. Not everything should be outlined, just some things. So, kind of like I say, don't overdo it. And now let me put this back on a frame so you can see it. And I think we've got a really cool looking abstract flower. And the only thing I might want to do, and I see, is I might want a little bit of orange right up here.
I was wondering that.
Huh? You were thinking?
It's a very strong dark area up there.
So right up there, I might want a little bit of orange. So now if I want that, now here's the trick. If I want that, what do I have to do first? Paint it white, yeah? Because the orange wouldn't show up, wouldn't even look remotely okay. There's our white paint. So I want some orange in here. Right like that, maybe. That was some sort of a regular shape. Okay, I'm going like that. Maybe even here too. I don't like this orange here because it's so dark. So I'm going to just rectify that, okay? All right, so let's dry that, right? In fact, even this little dark shape I'm going to break up a bit too.
Mm-hmm. Just about to suggest that one.
Yeah, just that one, huh? Thick and thin lines, remember, just thick and thin lines. Okay, like that. All right, so I'm going to break that up and dry that. Look what a difference that made. We'll go with the yellow first.
That's better. That's a cool painting.
It's different, isn't it?
Some you can just relax and do. This is a no stress painting.
No, the no stress painting, for sure. And I really like it a lot because of that. I think that the colors are very pretty.
It's when you're in an artist block, a stump, don't know what to do. You grab one of these because you just can't go wrong. Well, I guess you could, but
Well, you could. I just think it has this flowing feeling to it, doesn't it? And the I think what I want to do is connect this to this, so I don't have a space between there and there. I want it to look like this flower is coming, this leaf is coming out from the underneath this.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah, you didn't really have that.
No, I didn't have that. And I want some blue here or some white.
I may even have to break down and try this one myself.
Yeah, I think this is fun. It just, you get your shape's a little different than mine as long as you get that stain in
it's
there.
just a different flower.
Just a different flower.
I came across a different one.
There's so many flowers in this world. There, I wanted a little bit of that blue next to that green. Some sort of bright green here. Ooh, yes. Yeah, huh? And trying to think if I want that green anywhere else. Yeah, there you go. Let's take a little bit of this blue color. Come up into here like that. There you go. I like that because we got a little bit of contrast here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Balance a little bit of the darks, which we have. So that's a good dark right there. It's a good one right there. So just play with it a little bit. And I feel like that's the trick, is to just kind of what didn't show up, what's showing up. Maybe I want this a bit lighter. Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Reds are just those colors that sometimes they just need an extra punch. Sometimes reds need like 3 coats.
Oh yeah, definitely. To build it up to get the real red.
You know, it's not that. It's just, you know, you want that real red, right?
Because even when they say a paint is opaque, it really is not 100% opaque.
No.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, I do too, and it's just very different. So I'm just going to put it back in the frame, let you guys see it. I'm going to say we've got a painting. I hope you're subscribing to this channel. If you haven't already, I would ask you to. Want to
We
invite,
encourage you to.
and yeah, encourage you to. And I want to invite everyone to. Let's see, we need a couple down here like this. Not that color. We need a couple coming down here like this. From here. Yeah, there we go. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. If you want a traceable for this, again, it'll be available at acrylicpainting.com. If you're an orange member and above of our Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. And got lots of fun traceables, everything for the last 2 years that we've done on YouTube. So if you want to be able to do that. And you know what, you guys, I think it's important to appreciate that there's so many different kinds of art, and that you may be drawn to one more than another, and doesn't make you a bad artist. It just means that you're either attracted to colors, you're attracted to a certain style, and find your style. But rather than just focus on your style, explore a little bit and try some others. You may find that's your style too. That's the advantage of painting everything from the old dead artists to the, the current modern masters. Try different things and get a feeling of the flow and how paint works, and whether you like more of a watercolor look or whether you like more of a pastel look, and whether you like palette knives. How do you know unless you try it? And try a few. So again, see you next Monday. Be sure to share this video with your friends. If you got 3 friends, everybody that's watching, just share this with 3 friends, whether they paint or not. Just share it. Okay, just do me a favor. Just share this video, and maybe you'll inspire somebody else. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And I hope did I show everybody what we were doing for next week?
Oh, I'll put it in there.
So
I'll put it in.
John's
Need to see what it is we're putting in.
Oh yeah, we're putting in those Egyptian.
That was last week's.
So
this week is Wolfie.
The wolf. All right. So
you're
in
gonna
the
love the
Academy,
wolf.
we're going to wait till you see that. So John will add that somewhere to you. One of the drawing things. I hope he adds that, because we film these ahead of time. And we'll see you next Monday. Thanks for watching.
Ginger Cook, the queen of color, with a blazing brush at the speed of light, and a blank canvas, and a hearty yes and yes. The queen of color, Ginger Cook, and her sidekick, John Little, teach you to paint with acrylics.